Hello and welcome to our channel Jeet Ki Pathshala. Today we are discussing the remaining part of the chapter Change of the Earth's Surface, and the topic for today is Works of Wind. So let's begin. Among the exogenic factors that bring about change over the Earth's surface, the wind is very important. There are many factors which bring lot of changes on the Earth's surface, and among those factors, wind also play an important role. The global wind systems act upon the Earth's surface in many different ways, and the wind system acts in different ways upon the Earth's surface. All parts of the world, including the oceans, are affected by wind action, and the effects created by the wind can be seen all over the world, including ocean. Certain parts of the world are regularly affected by wind-related hazards like hurricane, typhoon, tornado, etc. And there are certain parts of the world which are regularly affected by the wind-related hazards. That means there are many places on the Earth's surface which are affected regularly by the wind action. However, winds as an agent to bring about change has far-reaching impact, particularly in the desert areas of the world. As we already come across that wind brings lots of changes on the Earth's surface, but the main impact of wind can be seen in the desert areas. The formation of geomorphic features in the deserts, their shapes and size are primarily determined by the wind action. And there are different types of features which can be seen in the desert area. And behind the formation of these features, wind action is mainly responsible. In the desert environment, the wind, through three different activities, erosion, transportation and deposition, creates different features and causes change over them. So as we have already discussed in our earlier classes regarding the three different works of river, similarly wind also has three different works which are erosion, transportation and deposition. And because of these three works, wind creates different kinds of structures, different kinds of features in the desert environment. And with the passage of time, these features formed by wind action also get changed because of wind action. As the vegetal cover is very thin in the deserts, wind can easily act upon them. And we know that the number of green plants or the number of vegetations are very less in the deserts area. As a result, the action of wind is generally high, and the wind which has more velocity brings lots of changes in the desert area. Sands and dust are easily transported from one part to the other, and because of the movement of air, that is wind, the sands present in the desert area are transported, that means are carried from one place to another very easily. Okay, hope you have understood. As we know that the speed of wind is generally high in the desert area because of lack of green vegetation. As a result, the speedy wind carries lots of sand and dust from one place to another. And this type of blowing away of sand and dust is called deflation. Okay, because of blowing of wind, sand and dust are carried from one place to another, which is called deflation. Deflation often creates dust storm in the deserts, and when dust and sands are carried from one place to another, a dust storm is created. It is notable that the areas from where sands are carried away become relatively depressed, and when the sand and dust of a particular place is carried to some other place, then the place from where the sands are carried become relatively depressed. In such depressed areas, lakes may be formed temporarily, and from where sands and dust are carried away, it becomes depressed. As a result, sometimes lakes are also formed for temporary period. The sands and dust transported through deflation get deposited in certain places where surface may be raised gradually to form hills. And because of deflation, when the sand and dust carried by the wind are deposited in a place, that place may raised gradually to form hills. Okay, so during deflation, effect in two places can be seen. The place from where the sand and dust are carried, it generally get depressed where lakes are formed, while the other place is that place where the sand and dust are generally deposited, and that place may be raised up and gradually it may form hills. These hills are called sand dune. So how sand dunes are formed? Sand dunes are formed due to deflation. When the sand and dust of a particular place is deposited to some other place, their surface may raised up to form hills. Such hills are called sand dunes. The shape and size of the sand dunes vary depending upon the nature, path of flow and strength of wind. And the size and shape of sand dunes does not remain same always. These are vary from place to place, as the formation of sand dune depends on some factors like nature, path of flow and strength of wind, etc. Moreover, sand dunes may differ with the difference in the natural environment of the deserts, and along with these factors, sand dunes may also be differ with the different in natural environment. Some other easily visible features also gives uniqueness to the desert's environment, and along with sand dunes, some other features are also present in desert area which gives some uniqueness to the desert environment. Most of such features are, however, the results of erosional activities, and most of the features that we can see in the desert area are the result of some of the erosional activities. That means most of the features are formed because of erosional activities in the desert area. The speedy winds of the deserts carries large rocks and pebbles along with sands. These transported materials erode the highlands located on their ways, and these rocks and pebbles which have been carried by the wind get contact with some of the highlands area. As a result, the highlands area get eroded. This type of frictional erosion is known as abrasion. Okay, so how abrasion is occurred? When the speedy desert winds occurs, it also carries large rocks and pebbles. Due to the movement of these rocks and pebbles from one place to another, it get obstructed with some highlands. As a result, erosion take place on such highlands, which we call abrasion. Generally, features like inselberg and yerdang are formed due to abrasion of the highlands, and when for a long period due to the frictional erosion abrasion occurs, the shape and size of the highlands get changed. As a result, a new types of structure is formed, which we call inselberg or yerdang. The low erosional hills generally seen in the deserts are inselberg, and the low erosional hills or the small hills that we see in the desert area are known as inselberg. The German term inselberg means isolated island mountain, and the meaning of inselberg is isolated island mountain, which is a German term. The yerdangs on the other hand are a kind of geomorphic features where ridges and groves occurs together, and yerdangs is also another type of geomorphic features where ridges and groves occurs together. These are the results of wind action of relatively soft sedimentary rocks, and yerdangs are generally formed in the sedimentary rocks. The indigenous people of the Loop Nur regions of Tarim basins of China use the word yerdang to recognize these features, and yerdang is generally used by the people of China. So this was a little bit about works of wind from the chapter Change of the Earth's Surface. In our upcoming videos, we will discuss the remaining part of the lesson. Thank you very much for watching our video.